my Forex fiends, Corey Smith here with CoreFX, bringing you guys the first and beginning of a chain of weekly technical analysis videos. This is going to be a weekly occurring thing I'm going to start on my page now. As some of you guys who have been followers of mine know, I do weekly analysis for T3 Live Trading, one of the biggest trading firms in the United States. And I also have been doing weekly pre-week analysis videos covering all the fundamental news events going on, and as well as the indexes on each of the major currencies. What I started to realize is I'm getting a lot more questions for technical analysis, a lot more people coming to me interested in learning technical analysis and learning how to properly trade the charts, and people interested in taking my course, and a lot of people can't afford it. A lot of people don't have the money to spend to learn, so I've really shifted my business model and the vision here at CoreFX to be much more catering to the community searching for that free content that is valuable. That's not just some Joe Schmo creating. I've been trading for 6 years. I've been trading professionally over 2. I've traded for multiple proprietary trading firms. I've done professional analysis. My resume as far as Forex goes shows that I have experience, and what I want to do is try to share this experience with you guys. I love teaching Forex. I love talking Forex. Everything I do is Forex, so I really want to just continue to provide whatever I can, and these weekly videos are going to attempt to do that as best I can. What I'm going to do in these videos, I'm going to go down and break down some Forex pairs on technical analysis, go over all aspects of price action. So if you watch these videos weekly, you'll be learning continuously as we go. I'll tie little lessons into every single video that I make every week, so that there's always dynamically changing content, not just what's this chart telling me. Also, what it's going to do, I'm going to do it every Sunday, so it's going to get you ready for the week ahead. It's going to show you what trades I'm watching. I'm not going to go over my exact strategy and all. That's exclusive to my students in my course, but I will go over what I'm watching, what pairs are trending, what key levels we're hitting. I'll go over all the US dollar pairs, and like I said, I'll tie in that little lesson. I'll also jump real quickly into the fundamental side of things, and I'll just touch on what events to watch for this week coming up that are going to be important and that are going to be either A, an event you want to trade around because there's going to be extra volatility, or B, an event you want to limit your trading around, not look for trading around, cut your stops or adjust your stops and take profits prior to the event to adjust for this added volatility in the markets. So I'm going to touch on all of it, but mainly this is going to be a technical room. This is going to be a weekly occurring every Sunday. Stay tuned, stay following it. Promise you will learn a ton from these videos. As well as get an insight and a preparation for the week ahead to be prepared to take on this week's trading week. Trading is a very, very, very competitive, hostile environment, and the more tools you have, the more prepared you are, the better off you're going to be when you get into that battle. So please stay tuned to these videos. If you guys like what you see, subscribe to the channel. I've got all kinds of free content already on my page, as well as continuously coming out. So please make sure you check up. Stay tuned, turn on your notifications. Whenever I upload a new video, you want to be notified so you can get all that free content that you're looking for. I really appreciate all the support from you guys. That's why I do these videos, to give back to everybody who supported me over the years. My Instagram page, core.fx, my YouTube page, my website, corefxtrading.com. Check it all out, see what you guys think. Stay tuned for this free content. I really, really appreciate all the support, guys. And I'm going to go ahead now and switch it over to the charts and take it over from there. Thanks, guys. Alright guys, so as I told you, taking it to the charts now. I'm going to go through a breakdown of technical analysis, show you how I look at the charts personally. I'm sure every analyst touches and analyzes things differently. Everybody learns differently. Everybody uses different tools, though there are some things standard across the board. I am going to dive in here, show you how I approach the markets, what I'm looking for in these trades, and give you a little insight as to how a professional takes about trading. So this is actually April 1st, 2018. Happy Easter, everybody who celebrates it. Passover, everybody who celebrates that. This is the first of these videos, as I just mentioned, and essentially, I'm hoping I get some feedback from you guys with some things that you guys want me to cover in particular, so that as I go moving forward with these videos, I can include anything you guys want me to cover. I'm doing these videos for all of you guys, for all my Forex fiends out there, everybody who's trying to take their financial freedom to the next level, learn something that can make their money work for them instead of always working for your money and for somebody else and when somebody else asks you to. So congratulations on taking your first step towards financial freedom. Stay tuned to these videos. The first little tidbit I want to touch on here, since it is the first day of a new trading month, what that means is a monthly candle just closed. Okay, so on every chart you have, I use TradingView for my technical analysis in case any of you guys are wondering. Any chart you have, a monthly candle just closed, which shows us some insight into that prior month's price action and how it ended. Now this month, this green candle, half the candle is a wick to the upside, half is a body. This isn't really showing too much. This isn't a strong reversal pattern. This isn't anything. It is on a strong zone. This is a very significant level that the euro dollar has been trading under. And if I switch it to the weekly and the daily, you can see we've been range bound in here underneath this strong resistance. Look at this weekly chart. You can see all these wicks to the upside and the downside, right? So on the monthly chart, this isn't that significant. But if you go through all of your charts that you trade and you look at the monthly chart, take note of how the monthly candles closed. I'm not saying for the next month you're going to base your trading decisions off of what last month's candle closed, but if you're trading the daily 4-hour hourly time frame and you get them all to line up and agree with themselves and they're all telling you want to be short this pair, and then you look on the monthly and you see we've got a shooting star rejection off an SMA and a resistance level, that's going to give you a little bit more conviction and add a little bit more confirmation to your trade that you're in the right direction, right? So I'm not saying necessarily to make or break your trades based off this, but it's another tool to add to your trading. And here at CoreFX and almost every other professional trader out there, you want as many tools as you can. That doesn't mean I want 90 indicators on my chart. That means I want tools that work, that I use, that I like, to line up all together on the same trade. I want to take that perfect, beautiful, once-in-a-lifetime trade every time I take a trade, right? So monthly candle closes. Make sure you go back and check them out. Go through all your charts, and I would go through all my charts and just note down the noteworthy ones, the ones that you have a reversal pattern, a strong bullish momentum candle, a strong bearish candle, a rejection to a strong zone, something of that nature, and use that and go from there. But in every trade for the little while, you can start to reflect on that monthly candle to see where it's at. All right, so moving on from that, I'm going to go ahead and hop right into my technical analysis here, starting with the US dollar crosses. With the weekly chart on the euro dollar, which makes up about 60% of foreign currency trades, is the euro dollar, so a very heavily traded pair. We can see price is still trading in this range, right? So we've been in this range since the beginning of the year, and price has just been chopping around. Every time it tries to go break lower, it comes back in, tries to break higher, it comes back in. So price is still in this range. Last week we did see a shooting star candle close off of this resistance. So the buyers tried to push price all the way up here. By the end of the week, the sellers had pushed price all the way back down, closed in negative territory, as well as a big upper rejection wick, showing buyers tried, sellers won, right? So that could give us a selling pressure. However, we are still in this range until this counter trend lines are broken, this support at around 122 is broken. We really can't have too much confirmation either way as to what the euro dollar is going to do next. Because we want the clearest picture possible, we're going to wait for some kind of confirmation. Taking us to pound dollar. Weekly shows a potential, not actual yet, but a potential double top formation here on this strong resistance, which is also a 200 SMA. This is our Brexit move, so we created a big flux of trading away from this zone. We've come back up to test it now, rejected it once, come back up a second time, could be a second rejection. If that is the case, I would be aiming for down here around 136.50 to be my target initially off of that bounce. However, this isn't enough to trade off of because, as you can see, we are in a beautiful uptrend, setting higher high, higher low, retesting the higher high. Until this higher low gets broken, we can't really be too worried about it. In the daily chart, we are setting higher highs and higher lows as well. We came up to retest this strong supply and resistance level and did get 3 days of sell-off last week. But we are now back down to a nice support level, nice demand zone here from this pop higher, And we'll have to wait and see how this trend line holds, how these moving averages hold, and what's going on here with the pound dollar before we can jump into anything there as well. Dollar CAD, another kind of mixed bag. As you can see here, we did have a very nice break 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago now, break out of this strong resistance. We pulled back to retest, and this past week we had a very small indecisive doji candle close on this strong support zone now. 50 SMA is holding. What was strong resistance, now strong support is holding as well. So the weekly chart's telling us price looks like it's going to go to the upside, but we're still on a strong inflection zone where price could go either way. Even though probability says to the upside, we can't make any rash moves until we have confirmation. However, then we take it to the daily, and we got what looks like could be a head and shoulders pattern. If we take the 4-hour view, you can see a little bit better. We got a right shoulder, a head, a left shoulder, a head, and what could be a right shoulder forming. What we would like to see is a neckline break, if that's the case, to validate this head and shoulders. However, on the daily, you're also seeing we came up, set a higher high, higher low, higher high, came back to retest this higher low. This blue line is just showing a strong weekly level all through this area in about a 50 to 100 pip range. But as long, in my opinion and my analysis, as long as this higher low holds, we are still in this uptrend, right? We're above the 50 SMA. 50 SMA crossed the 200. 20 is starting to slope a little, but the 50 and 200 are looking good. Our market structure is holding. We had a higher high, higher low, higher high. Retested this higher low, so it didn't break structure yet. Break of structure will not only reverse the trend in my outlook, but it'll complete this head and shoulders pattern. So that's the two outcomes we'll be looking for on the dollar CAD there. Dollar yen. As you guys know, I was talking in my other videos I've been doing about this large yearly range dollar yen was trading between. We finally broke out of it, retested it, slowly moved a little lower, and we've kind of just been trickling lower ever since. Not the best price action. We did have a weekly close off of a strong weekly support with a bullish engulfing. Kind of a false break. It looked like it was going to break through the support and then popped higher. This could be a reversal. Taking to the daily, we did break this nice trend line that we had drawn here for the downward trend. Now it's again a little early to tell, but if you were a reversal trader like that, we do have a nice break and retest of this trend line. This potentially could be a long trade back up to maybe the 107, 108 range. But as far as my analysis goes, I'm going to hold off until I have some additional confirmation. Dollar Swiss franc. On the weekly, we had a bullish engulfing candle, but it's under resistance, so it's not really anything too significant. A little bit of range-bound choppy price action here as well. Taking it down to the daily, though, we have another potential double top. We've got one rejection here. Price sold off down to here. We've got what could be another rejection here. We had a small indecisive doji candle followed by a bearish engulfing. Strong bullish momentum coming up to this, though. We are in an upward trend here now on the daily. So again, this is going counter the trend. We're going to have to wait and see what price does. But we do have a double top forming here. Taking it to the 4-hour, a little bit less looking of a double top. But on that daily, we do certainly have a potential double top forming there. Aussie dollar. We have, as I've been talking about, if you follow any of my analysis, sorry, I always have trouble with this one. We have upward trend channel still in the process of being respected. As you can see, we are nearing this lower weekly trend line down here, but we're getting caught up first by this very strong support, resistance turn support zone. As you can see on the weekly, we got a nice spinning top candle here. So this bearish momentum is slowing down with these back-to-back weekly small body candles. This could be a sign for us that we're going to get this bounce now off this trend line and potentially continue this trend channel back to the upside, maybe go retest this higher high, or potentially even go up to blow into a new high. But we're in a downtrend, so another one of these where we have a mixed bag. We're going to have to wait and see what price action tells us before we can go and make any rash decisions. But it is in a downtrend. You could be playing pullback still. You could be shorting these pullback bear rallies and going short to continue to ride this downtrend to the downside. New Zealand dollar, as you guys can see, on the weekly, we had a doji candle close here. This 200 SMA is still acting as a lower trend line in this falling wedge pattern we've got here. This is a falling wedge within an uptrend. 20 is about to cross the 50 SMA. We're trading above the 200 SMA still. Taking it to the daily, you can see this falling wedge much better. You can adjust these trend lines if you'd like once you're on the daily chart to fit a little better. As you can see, we are in this falling wedge. I will be personally waiting for a breakout one way or another. Break to this upper trend line would be a nice opportunity for a long. We've also got a very strong support and resistance level here. Right, so if it breaks this trend line and then breaks that structure, that could be a nice trading setup. We also have the 200 SMA and this lower trend line, which could enter a nice short setup. So you could really be looking either way on New Zealand dollar, US dollar. So we'll go ahead and keep an eye on this pair as well. Nothing too crazy going on with these dollar crosses. I don't only trade these pairs. I trade revolving set of pairs based off the main 28 currencies. I look for what is trending. I look for what is agreeing across the time frames. As you guys can see with a lot of these charts, we've got different stories being told on different time frames. I trade the same story across time frame. That's going to be lining up the probability the best. So I will now go over a few charts that are much better with aligning the different time frames, in my opinion. CAD yen. Looking at it on the weekly, we're in a downtrend. We had a bounce off strong support, but we have 20 crossing 50. We're in a nice downtrend here. Could be in a good position to enter short as we're in a rally within a bear trend. Taking it to the daily, you can see we hit this bottom, rallied up. We're now hitting this zone here. Little bit of a supply zone touch here. This is our supply zone overhead. We tapped it just barely. We could be waiting to see a break of this to the downside, so potential shorting opportunity there as we're getting time frame agreement across the board. Taking us to Aussie yen, another one where on the weekly you can see we were in an uptrend. We broke structure, set a new lower low, bouncing up to set a higher low on what is a very significant zone here where this structure was broken. Broke the 50 SMA, pulled back above it temporarily, but we could see another break of the 50 SMA from here downward on the weekly. Taking it to the daily chart, you can see we were in this nice uptrend in a range, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Had a strong sell-off, broke below this very strong zone, and we've been trading below it now. This 200 SMA is now acting as resistance. 50 sloping downward, 20 sloping downward. 20 is below the 50. 50 is about to cross the 200. This could be a good opportunity for a short. We need more confirmation. We need a reversal pattern. We need something to tell us. Sorry. That was Euro. I'm sorry, guys. That was Euro yen. Same story, though. This was a weekly uptrend. Broke it, violated it, bounced lower. We're now below this support, so Euro yen, really, we can be looking to short anywhere is up in this area. This is the first leg pulse move of a now downtrend. This could cause some very strong moves, so look for shorting opportunities up here if you are into this kind of trade. That's something I will be watching. Not on my top priority, but something I'll be watching. Aussie yen, on the other hand, is a higher priority of mine. We have a very nice downtrend now going on with lower lows, lower highs. We broke this very significant support here on the weekly with this back-to-back weekly bearish candles. We have now pulled back to retest it, but as you can see with that small upper wick, we did get some rejection. Taken to the daily, you can see we moved lower, higher, lower, higher, lower. Now we pulled back to retest here. We've got we did have a strong bullish momentum candle up to this area. However, we had a spinning top showing indecision off this zone, and we could be now rolling over. So take it to the 4-hour hourly. We could be, this is the range I want to see broken. Breaks to the upside, we could shoot higher. Breaks to the downside, we could at least expect it to come back down to the 80-50 level down here. So I'm going to be watching this pair for a setup as well this week. Pound Swiss franc, another one we can see is agreeing. We're in an uptrend on the weekly. We have come up to retest this strong resistance here, and we got a little bit of a shooting star candle here. Gravestone doji, little bit of a rejection, but not too bad. It is on strong zone, so I am watching for a reversal here. However, on the daily, we are selling off a little, but this support right around here at 33.50 is still holding, and until it breaks this structure, I'm going to be looking for longs. And if you take this 4 hour, you can see we got a nice area down here that'll hold if we hold, and we also have this zone we're at here now. So this zone could hold and continue the uptrend, or it could break to this zone, and this zone could hold and continue the uptrend, or we could just reverse this uptrend altogether. However, like I said, I look for pairs that are agreeing across the time frame. I want to be watching for setups on these, and this is one that's in a very strong trending uptrend. So I want to try to see if we can catch this trend and continue to ride it higher. Pound CAD, another trade I really like. We're in an uptrend, as you can see. Beautiful movement from bottom left to top right. Very strong trending market. Taking it to the weekly, as you guys can see, we broke above the 200 SMA recently. Been in a strong uptrend. Broke this strong resistance at around 178. Pulled back, broke above this 200 SMA. Now we pulled back again. This 200 SMA is now on the support. This is now acting as support. We've got the 20 and 50 sloping upwards, so we do have a nice looking uptrend here. Taking it to the daily, you can see as well, we've been strongly trending up. We broke higher, pulled back now to hit this demand zone. On the 4 hour, you can see we're right in that demand zone, so this could be a good opportunity to look for longs to ride it back up to at least this prior high. Moving on from here, we've got the euro pound. On the weekly, we did break and move kind of debatably below this range. As you guys can see, this euro pound has been in a crazy range. This is the weekly chart. So we're looking at September of 17, over 6 months in this range. And as you can see, we've had some bearish momentum recently. We came down, not quite broken out, but we came down to the bottom of this level. It's pulled back, and we are now trading below this very strong support resistance zone. We got a little bit of a rejection candle here. The first time we tried to push higher. Second time we come up, we've got a spinning top. So I'm not rushing into looking for a short, because this could very easily go back up to the top of the range and stay within here. But it also could at least come back down to retest the bottom of this range and possibly even break lower. So I will be watching for confirmation to the downside. Maybe we get a double top here, break this trend line, move back to the downside. But just another pair that I got on my watch list that I will be watching. Euro Aussie, another one. Beautiful setup here. On the weekly, we're in a very nice uptrend. As you guys can see here, what I don't like about the weekly is this doji candle close we got here. It's in a nice strong zone as well, so that gives me a little bit of the heebie-jeebies. But every other time frame I trade, the daily, we're in a very nice uptrend. Broke higher high, came back to set a higher low on a very nice resistance turn support zone. 4 hour looks beautiful. You can see this was a very strong zone. We popped out above it, pulled back, and it's now rounding out on the bottom. What looks like it could be a cup and handle pattern forming on the hourly. In this strong zone, nice risk to reward, stops down here, targets up here, somewheres in here could be your entry. Great looking trade across the board. Weekly, yes, we have a candlestick pattern that is scaring us, but we are still in a very strong uptrend, setting new higher highs. So the momentum is there, the trend is there, and all the other time frames are agreeing as well. Euro Swiss franc, another one. We were in a range. The weekly, can't really see it because it's just weekly candles, but we are in an uptrend. We were in a range on the weekly, on the daily here. All these small bodied candles, and then we finally got a pop up and above the range, and we've been kind of range bound again up above it, but I'm seeing a lot of bullish pressure to this pair. And if you take the 4 hour, you can see it's now retesting this very strong zone. So another one where we could look for a long opportunity for a bounce off of this zone. And the last one is Aussie New Zealand. This is a pair that I actually sent signal to my group chat for my traders. We got a nice downtrend on the weekly, broken close below this strong weekly support. This past week got a little bit of a mixed signal, got some rejection wick, but still a bearish candle close. On the daily, we set a lower low, pulled back up to retest this zone, got a nice sharp shooting star, upper rejection wick candle. We could see some more downside as we've got back-to-back rejection to the upside. So we could see a continuation to the downside from this Aussie New Zealand. Gonna have to wait and keep an eye on it, but definitely another pair that I like the looks of it all across the board. The trends are all lining up. Price actions all lining up. A little example here of how else we analyze these tools. With this strong move here that set this lower low, we can throw a Fibonacci onto that move from the swing high to the swing low. And you guys can see we are right on that 50% fib, right on this strong support, now turned resistance, and what looked like a really nice retest to that zone to continue lower, right? We've got a now formed trend line that this could keep respecting on its way down. It's really just a beautiful setup as far as price action goes all across the board. So that was just another quick technical breakdown I wanted to show you guys. This shows you guys what I'm looking at to start the week, what analysis we've got going. Please share your ideas. Give me some comments of what you feel these pairs are going to do. Give me some comments on some pairs you would like me to cover. Some topics you would like me to cover. I need as many topics as possible for all the free content coming out in the future. So please, guys, make sure you are on top of giving me ideas. Subscribe to the page, follow it, everything like that, so we can stay on top of these things here. This week coming up as far as news goes, Tuesday we've got the central bank meeting out of Australia. This is where their official rate statement is for their overnight interest rates. It's at 1.5%, not expecting to raise it, but the rhetoric of the meeting, definitely something we want to watch. Then we've got manufacturing, construction, services PMI numbers out of Great Britain, out of the UK, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. These numbers can typically have an overall effect on the pound for the week as a whole. Retail sales out of Australia later on that day after the rate statement. So this could be a nice little follow-through continuation trade to that. We've got the trade balance out of Australia on Wednesday as well. We've got trade balance out of Canada on Thursday, which both of these can cause some decent moves. Nothing crazy, 30, 40 pips or so. Friday, huge day of the week. Non-farm payroll out of the U.S. This is our monthly jobs report. Unemployment rate, employment change, average hourly earnings change. Then we've got Canadian dollars, unemployment change, and unemployment rate as well. Two huge news events for the dollar and the CAD. These data points are being very closely watched by the central banks in both countries, so this is something very significant. Then we have on Friday, a little later on in the morning and day, we have two central bank heads speaking. We've got Carney of the Bank of England, and we've got the new Chair Powell of the U.S. Federal Reserve. Whenever there's a central banker speaking that is the head of a central bank, it's always important to be aware of, to note down on your calendar so you know that it's coming up, so that you are aware. If you're in any trades relating to that pair, or you're looking for a volatility spike in that pair to jump in a trade, that is a time you want to be paying attention to and aware of. All right, so again, I want to thank you guys all for tuning into these videos. They will become more and more in depth as time goes on. As I take more and more requests from people, I will be continually adding to the content. I will be adding to the analysis. I will be adding more topics. I'll be adding more videos. And these videos will be coming at you weekly. So please, guys, make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you stay on top of these videos and share any ideas, negative or positive, you have. All right, guys, thank you very much. Corey Smith here, Core FX. Thank you all my Forex fiends out there, and I'll see you next time.